This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. So now's the time to find ways to beat the heat, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And Wyoming Sports Talk Today on the air before the July 4th holiday, as we'll call it Independence Eve today. Lincoln Way Liquor is one of our fine sponsors of Wyoming Sports Talk Today, so drop on by, see John, the gang over at 2825 East Lincoln Way. Marv's Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council, give Tim a call, 635-4592. Mondello's Pizzeria, delicious Italian cuisine, Paisan cuisine that is served up 7 days a week, and I'm sure they'll be there even on the 4th of July. So again, for pizza, stromboli, calzones, and delicious sandwiches, remember Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Talk to them about their CD rates going on right now at First Tier Bank. Tim and the gang over there, they wish you a happy Independence Day holiday. They will be taking the day off tomorrow. The key people of Cheyenne, where we have Rachel taking care of business these days, give her a call at 414-0074, and then her cleaning crew will come on by and clean it so you don't have to. Lennox Auto Body with 2 locations, the main repair center, the auto and truck repair center over on Dunn Avenue, and the auto glass and detail center you'll find on Pershing Boulevard. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. Gene and his great staff always take good care of you. Same location as always. They've been there for a long, long time. Know what they're doing on Bluegrass Circle next to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations, Vanda High, as well as the east side location, the corner of College and Pershing. And they'll be taking the Independence Day holiday, but they remind you they'll be back Thursday over at Platte Valley Bank. Kia of Cheyenne, where you can test drive a great selection of Kias right now. And again, Greg and A.J. Miller, they wish you a happy Independence Day. They say thank you for all that you've done. And when you get a chance, stop on by and test drive one of those great-looking Kias at Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. Chick-fil-A, where you can enjoy breakfast 6 days a week, in addition to lunch and dinner, but their breakfast menu is loaded right now, and they invite you to try their white peach lemonade tea right now. It is really, really good. It's over at Chick-fil-A Corner Windmill, Delrange, right across from Menards. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. You'll find Steve and the great crew over there on Highway 30. Again, your home for Jayco products, RVs, and fifth wheels. Taco John's, home of loaded potato olays. 6 packs and a pound. 6-pack and a pound. Also, they have Taco Tuesday, which today is Taco Tuesday over at Taco John's. And don't forget, too, they also have their sirloin steak burritos right now, which are a big hit. Taco John's with a plethora of locations here in Cheyenne.
I'm surprised you even knew what day it was. I'm surprised you even know what month we're in. What? Don't give me those looks. Continue on.
And
you should go buy some Taco John's. You spaced out on Chick-fil-A. Get on that. Just saying. You promised me that yesterday.
I don't promise you nothing.
I have somebody here in front of me to do all that.
I promise you employment. That's about all I promise you right now. What do you want? Okay, thank you.
That's great.
And then our scoreboard is brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
All right.
And again, we want to thank our good friend Will and all the gang over there at Pepsi Cheyenne. Let's go to the scoreboard. What do you got?
What do I got? There's not a whole lot going on other than there is one game, at least it's a doubleheader game one, between Cheyenne Post 6 and Cheyenne Mountain out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. They're over at Pioneer Park right now. Game one just wrapped up with the Post 6 Sixers getting the victory 11-9. So game two will be underway here shortly, barring the weather over there at Pioneer, as we are at least dealing with a thunderstorm around the area, a severe thunderstorm out east going towards the Pine Bluff, Kimball area right now. So they should be underway hopefully here soon for game number two.
In the major leagues, they've moved to the bottom of the eighth inning at Wrigley Field. Cubs lead the Tigers 5-3. In the bottom of the third inning at Miller Park, the Twins and the Brewers are scoreless. Games getting underway here. Next hour will be the Red Sox and the Nats at Nats Park. Bravos and the Yankees when we get off the air, along with the Orioles and the Phils. It will be the Mets and the Blue Jays in the Rogers Center. White Sox and the Reds at Great American Ballpark. Rays and Marlins at Marlins Park. 6 o'clock games will have the Astros and the Rangers, Giants and the Rockies. At Coors Field, it'll be Chris Stratton towing the rubber for San Francisco. Antonio Senzatella on the hill for the Rocks tonight. Also in the 6 o'clock hour, Indians and Royals at Kauffman Stadium. 7 o'clock game, we'll have the Padres in the Oco taking on the Athletics. It will be the Cardinals and the D-backs late in the 7 o'clock hour at Chase Field. 8 o'clock games, Angels, M's at Safeco, and the Dodgers, which just destroyed the Pirates last night, 17-1. They'll have Clayton Kershaw on the hill, who's 1-4 with a 2.84 ERA. They will face off with the Buccos again of Pittsburgh. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
Do you have a big remodeling project in mind? Then the best tool for you is a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank. Whether you are remodeling, making home repairs, or expanding, a home equity line of credit can help you finish that project. Stop in and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank.
Some restrictions may apply, subject to credit approval. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
John Mason here for Lincoln Way Liquor. I want to thank Cheyenne for helping us grow during our first year of business. We have over 5,000 new customers in our database in just 13 months. Our customers love our low prices, free ice, 2% credit for future purchases, and some really friendly service. And we always have 16 weekly specials on beer, wine, and liquor. We ask you to compare Lincoln Way Liquor, 2825 East Lincoln Way. We're not the largest, but we might just be the best.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast, only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day, at Windmill and Del Range.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 85. Then for tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 54. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 80 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15. And on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 54.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing!
And it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today for Tuesday afternoon. We get a chance, we always get to talk baseball, but now you get a chance to talk extreme fast pitch. And we got Adam Gleason with his 18 and under team as
the season's very quickly approaching the at least in.
It's winding down.
Yeah, absolutely. So as they were down in at least Denver, Colorado, competing in the Sparkler tournament, had a little rough go of it, but again, some stiff competition down there in Colorado, especially in their pool bracket. A few teams from, I do believe, Alaska, Fort Worth, Texas. So, again, a very top-notch competition. Certainly, again, thank you, Adam Galicia. Thank you for joining us here, at least on Wyoming Sports Talk today. But just talk about that tournament. Just kind of give your thoughts on just how things went this past weekend down in Denver.
Well, overall, I was pretty pleased with the girls. We started out Tuesday, and Sparkler can always go one of two directions. It's a little intimidating. You get some of the best competition in the country down there, and the girls get a little intimidated sometimes. We made a lot of errors on Tuesday in our games. Had a good talk with the girls after the games Tuesday, and kind of put the ball in their court. We gotta come play some defense, hit the ball, and we're gonna compete in the games. I mean, we had 3 walk-off losses in the last innings, the last at bats. The 2 teams that actually in our pool actually ended up, talking about how tough our pool was. They actually ended up playing for the championship down there in our bracket. So. It was pretty good competition.
But just talk about this tournament, though, as a general, again, as you mentioned with the Sparkler tournament, again, bringing competition from around the nation. But, I mean, this is something that is kind of prestige that, is just only 100 miles just down the road that you and at least here in the state of Wyoming, especially with the Cheyenne Extreme, have the pleasure at least showcasing our talent, especially with having maybe possible college scouts out there of saying, hey, here's all this talent. Let's show what Cheyenne Extreme softball is made of, and what we can do against others from around the nation.
Oh, no doubt. It's fun to see what the girls can do, how they rise to another level. We actually, most of our seniors are already signed for mainly volleyball. We have a couple girls that are actually signed to go play softball. So we only had one girl that was really eligible to be talked to by college coaches, and she got a few looks, and she's got talked to by, a handful of colleges. So hopefully that's going to produce something for her, and we're always excited to see stuff like that.
Last time we talked to you, you were battling the injury bug. How things coming along there on the Blue Cross Blue Shield report?
Yeah, well, girls, as you get in a long season, the girls, everybody has their little nicks and bruises and strains here and there. We're finally should be a full roster the rest of the year, so that's going to be nice coming into. We got 3 big tournaments coming up, and so I'm pretty excited. I think we're ready to battle and have some fun.
You said something that was very important, and we've had this conversation with a lot of coaches. Since we've had a lot of new names or names switching positions throughout the high schools, and again, you have kids on your team that are not just softball players. They are multi-sport athletes, whether it's volleyball, whether it's hoops, whether it's track and field. And let me ask you this question. I know when I had my daughter's team, and again, that was more rec than anything, but we would get those distractions where a couple kids would need to go off to a volleyball camp or some type of open gym for basketball. Do you run into that throughout the course of the season?
No doubt. It's always tough. Like you said, the majority of the girls are involved in other sports. I mean, they're actually very competitive in those other sports, so they're expected by these programs to go off to camps, to go compete with their the high schools during these, and so it makes it real tough for us. I mean, we go through that until this time of the year, really till the last 3 tournaments of the year, and finally the camps are over. But that is definitely. I don't mean this bad, but it's definitely a big stumbling block, a roadblock for the team.
Is that a situation where at least rosters are deep enough where you can kind of at least deal with that very ease easily with, again, where you're not running short on players, or is it something where, again, with the extreme kind of like Post 6 and the Mustangs do have that 16 under, 14 under, where you can kind of look to maybe, hey, you know, this is a superstar here on the 16 and under. Let's give her a shot while this player's kind of missing. What's kind of the options for your team?
You know, we always look within the organization first to see where we can fill in. And typically in the past, it's come from our 14 and under teams, whoever that may be. And this year it hasn't been any difference. We've had a couple girls that have come and filled in, played some tournaments for us, and we've challenged them, and they've come through and produced.
You got some very good athletes on your team, and again, if they do get called away, whether it's for hoops or volleyball, and they miss a week, maybe a couple games. I don't know how many games in all, Adam, but I know in my case, in my senior league, if we have a week off like last weekend, because they want to celebrate the 4th of July weekend last weekend, I got to go up to the batting cages and get a few strokes in because, we're not playing on that regular basis. Does their timing get off a little bit by being out for a few games?
Most definitely. It gets off a little bit. Fortunately, most of them are at a point now in their careers where it doesn't take a whole lot to get them back in the groove. They're able to come in, get a good session, maybe even a private session with me, where we just come and get some hitting, get some ground balls, getting them changing levels again, just doing quick skills and drills type stuff, and they get right back in the groove.
We are talking with Adam Galicia, who is the head coach of the 18 and under extreme team. We were just talking before we got on the air, and again, with all of the extreme programs, and one of the nice things that the city has done, and again, it's, there's no contract written or anything like that, but you're giving that priority, and they built that field, especially for women's softball or fast pitch. And again, the extreme usually I think it's field 4?
Field 3.
Field 3. And again, you have your own practice facility. Does that make a big difference in your program? I know for years and years you would be on a field here, there, and there, but now you got an actual home field that you could practice on. Does that make things a little easier for your preparations?
It does. It most definitely. Every time you can get consistent where you practice at, the girls get on a schedule. They know what time practice is. They're going to be there. It's familiar to them, and you're not having to search. They know coaches and searching every day. Okay, where we're going to practice today. It definitely. It's something. It's a worry that you don't have to have, and so it helps you out. It's definitely a big help.
Question at least we got for Cheyenne Extreme kind of through our fan base here. They were kind of wondering, as looking at tournaments again, you guys have been away from kind of the locale scene here in Cheyenne, playing over at Converse Field, but as you mentioned, 3 major tournaments at least left. Will we see Cheyenne Extreme playing at Converse at least one more time before the season ends, or is it pretty much, we're on the road for the remainder of the season?
As of right now, we're on the road for the remainder of the season. I don't know why we've had so many problems. I've been trying for 4 or 5 years to get Colorado teams to come up and play us, and it's just that there's so much softball, between here and Denver that it's almost like it's a burden to them to come up this way. And usually we get 1 or 2 teams a year to come up, but we have not. When girls fast pitch, it's just not been very successful getting Colorado teams to come.
Is that something where it's kind of a difficulty of, at least with your athletes, trying to keep them focused again, where you love being at home, you love playing in front of your home fans or your family, and again, not having to travel all the way down to Denver or wherever you are traveling to, but is that something you kind of find as a difficulty, kind of keeping, like, at least the athletes kind of focus on that, or at least keep their minds kind of going, hey, as much as we're not at home, we still got a tournament to play. It might be on the road and kind of unfamiliar territory, but just kind of talk through, at least through us, about the kind of preparation for that.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. I mean, the girls know that, our younger teams get to play in what they call Indian Peaks League, so in that you get home and away games. So, but that's up till they get 14. As they get 16 and 18s, they understand there's not going to be a whole lot of games played at home. So they understand that, but it still makes it tough because you have to find a way to make practice interesting so that we're not doing the same drills day after day. We're not doing the same physical training. I mean, you got to find ways to just incorporate new things. So it forces me, which I don't mind, to keep looking on the internet, and reach out to different coaches to find out what they're doing, how they're running practices and stuff.
With the tournaments, and I know you don't want to play tournaments all season long, but it seems like that might be the hook to get teams to come up here and play. I mean, do we have the Adam Galicia tournament, to kick off the season, then the Nick Proetti tournament? I mean, how do we get that opportunity to keep our kids, here in Cheyenne? At least, I don't want to say half the schedule, but if you could, wave your magic wand, at least a quarter of the schedule, have them here in Cheyenne.
Yeah, and most definitely, it's something that me and my coaches have talked about in the years, and a few other coaches in the Extreme organization, but mainly at the 18U level, to try to have just an 18U tournament here, just a varsity type tournament. The problem is most of the coaches down in Colorado, Nebraska are creatures of habit, and they already know what they're going to do year after year, and getting them to change their approach to that thought process, it's pretty difficult.
Now, we do draw teams here because we do have the facilities now, right?
Oh, correct, yeah. I mean, Extreme Weekend this year, I think we had 56 teams here. So it's not that we can't support it. It's just coaches have their specific directions they want to go during the season, and, it'd be nice at some point where we could just have, a 16 and 18-year-old tournament.
Now, Nick, you mentioned that there's, 3 more tournaments left in the schedule for the 18 under team. For some of the young ladies that will be back with you, the season technically doesn't end. Isn't there some more summer and even fall ball that goes on for the young ladies? May not be here in town.
Yeah. Unfortunately, once they get 16s and 18s, like we just talked a few minutes ago, now they get involved in volleyball, as the school season starts. So there is fall ball in Colorado, and typically those girls who play that are strictly softball players. We don't have the, I don't know what word to use, luxury to do that, because these girls are involved in these high school programs, and a lot of them are key players in their high school programs. So we don't have the numbers of the girls to support us doing a fall ball team. The rest of the state does. Well, as in Gillette, there is a fall ball league in Wyoming. I think there's usually like 4 or 5 clubs involved, but the travel is so great. They usually play all their games on Sundays that, if these girls are doing their volleyball all through the week, the last thing they want to do is now go drive, to drive back and forth from Gillette on a Sunday, or up to Cody or to Rock Springs. Travel's just too great to make that happen.
Does that frustrate you a little bit as a coach? Because again, you love this sport. I mean, you have been involved with the Extreme program for umpteen years now, Adam. And again, too, we have very good student athletes that have come through your program, and they've gone on to bigger and better things. And I understand too, and you made very good points. Volleyball, we have good volleyball programs. There's cross country that happens at this time. Tennis, I mean, there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, especially during the fall time. But I mean, here we are, the capital city of this state, and you can't seem to get 12 bodies to field a team to be a club team.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm trying to think how many years ago. Probably 6 years ago, maybe. I really was trying hard to get us a fall ball team here. I actually went through Parks and Rec to get some girls, and some of my Extreme girls, there was, a handful that could play, and literally had about 60 girls that signed up to do this. They came to practice for, I don't know, maybe 2-3 weeks. Then when it came down to actually travel, our first time to compete, there was only about 7 or 8 girls that could travel. And it was like, the parents, a lot of them were used to playing rec ball, and you just go to Converse and you play your games there, and they didn't realize the commitment to travel, and I think that first tournament was in Cody, and they're like, well, we have to drive 4 or 5 hours to get there, and then play a couple of games and then drive 4 or 5 hours back. So it fell apart pretty quick, and but it definitely, there's definitely a push to get a fast pitch in the high schools. I'm hoping this year that something can happen with this. If that ever happens, these other girls we're going to be able to start developing a lot more through the high school program.
And I'm glad you mentioned that about high school, because I think, in addition, and again, everything's all Title IX, so if you get something with the women's program, obviously you have to do something with the men. That might be baseball. I know I've talked with Jared Schlabs over at Cheyenne East. That would be something that would be welcomed out here, but I think it's more of the Western teams that have problems as far as fielding teams. But how close, in your opinion, how close are we to having women's softball for high schools? We know we'd have 3 teams at least here in town. And
honestly, you talk to some of the people around the state, they look at Cheyenne as one of the, not roadblocks, but as the key members to make this happen. And
we're the Mecca.
And I know we can at least have two full teams here, probably between Central and East. And it takes, I forgot what it is, you have to have at least 5 or 6 programs, high schools involved. And we're always, the couple years that this come up for vote, we've been 1 school short of making it happen. So it's going to take one of these 3A schools, something like that, to actually get involved to make it happen.
Just kind of behind the 8 ball here in the state of Wyoming with being distance, lack of population. Go figure on at least trying to get everything at least on par with the rest of the country.
And of course, spring is not really spring here in this part of the world either. So.
Spring, there was no spring; it was just snow. Anyway, so Adam, want to talk about it, at least kind of move forward now, at least for this upcoming. I do believe this weekend, but at least the upcoming tournament that you will have down in Colorado, the Colorado State Tournament. Just talk about kind of your thoughts on that going into it. What kind of competition are we looking at possibly? Just give us a full rundown on this upcoming tournament.
Well, coming in this weekend, we start playing on Friday night. We have a 5 o'clock game in Loveland. There's probably 5 or 6 teams that are capable of going through and winning it all. There's a lot of things that have to go right for you to win the overall title. But like I always tell the girls, your effort makes that stuff happen. So I'm pretty excited. I think we're pretty healthy going into this weekend now. We should have all of our pitchers ready to go. We'll have 11, our whole team, 11 bodies down there, and I'm pretty excited. There's a couple teams that we've battled all year, and there's one team we just haven't been able to get by, although we've played them pretty well. And we're ready, and I think I'm very excited about this weekend. I told the girls I expected us to go down and compete for a championship down there, and I think they're pretty excited, ready to make that happen. We've put in a lot of work this year, so very excited.
It's been a different type of year for you. And again, the success that you have had at the helm of this program. And when you have a year such as this, and again, you've battled injuries, and you got young mixing in with the veterans. From your standpoint, it's been a little tough on you this season.
Yeah, it's been tough. We've played tough competition, and they've been able to expose some of our deficiencies on the defensive side. But the girls have battled, and some of our younger girls are learning. They have great examples, and they're learning what it's like to compete at that level.
But also, too, this is also a credit to what you've done with the program as well. Cheyenne's got a great reputation, and when you are going to battle the extreme, they know they are going to be in for a dogfight. So, again, too, you're facing all the number ones every time you're going into any type of tournament or any type of league play.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. We're going to get ready to wrap things up here with the head coach of the 1800 team, Adam Galicia. We're back after these words, right?
As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Okay, good day in the weight room, boys. Remember, we lift weights for strength. For cardio, we lift weights faster. Wachowski, quit looking at your stomach, son. What you're looking for ain't there. If you want a six-pack, the easiest way to get one is at Taco John's.
Stop in for a six-pack and a pound at Taco John's. Get 6 crispy beef tacos and a pound of potato olays, all for $10.99.
Let's olay the day and go get one right now. Last one there has to pick up Mrs. Coach from jiu-jitsu class.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
Franklin Roosevelt created the Civilian Conservation Corps during the Great Depression to provide jobs and teach skills to unemployed young men across the nation. Active in Wyoming from 1933 to 1942, the state hosted 32 work camps. CCC work in Wyoming included tree planting, land reclamation, wildlife protection, and firefighting. Visitors to Guernsey State Park still use many of the structures built by CCC workers, including the boat dock, picnic shelters, and the museum. This is Mike Strom bringing you a moment in history from the Wyoming State Archives.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480, K-Ray.
We're going to keep Adam Gleason here just a few more minutes. Adam, you know, we were talking during the break, and again, too, when we think of Cheyenne Extreme, yeah, a lot of our young ladies are here, but you draw from a few miles around this area, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, every year I can't remember a year that I have not had girls from Torrington, girls from Nebraska, from Gering. This year I have a Gering girl. Like I was saying, I even had about 3 or 4 years ago, I had a girl from Shattern that was coming all the way to Cheyenne to play. So we search far and wide, you know, and spend a lot of time searching for girls.
And I think that also goes to the character, at least kind of the credit to those players as well, where, again, it's already tough enough in kind of monetary, at least, commitment being here in the city of Cheyenne, but now you're adding travel and also dealing with kind of outreach of Torrington, again, Shattern, pretty far. I mean, it's far, at least with 100 miles, but again, now adding that with gas mileage and everything, I mean, those players kind of have a little bit of more, you know, I'll use the term again, like chutzpah about them, where, again, you're putting a lot more on the line to join this team.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And I always give those girls a lot of credit, you know, just to do it week after week, coming twice a week, those that can, and then during the winter, coming in every Sunday as much as they can, you know, weather permitting. They're here. They're committed, and they you know, nothing but praise for them.
And I applaud them, too, because I know that feeling. For me, it's always nice to get out of town once a week and drive 100 miles to play baseball. I mean, I could go play in Fort Collins or Loveland, but I rather would play in my Denver league. So I do give them a lot of praise. Hey, you know, we get to the part of the season, and it's always the tough part. It's that last game, and again, too, you have to say goodbye to some very talented kids that you've had through the program, and it's almost like, you know, you are their second dad, so to speak, and then the next group needs to be introduced to you and the Extreme program. So when do we start looking at that the new generation of Extreme youth coming into the program?
Well, our Extreme tryouts this year will be August 5th, and it'll be a Sunday, and everything will be advertised in the newspaper and on our Facebook page and our shineextreme.com. You know, definitely, like you said, it's tough. The end of the year is tough, and this time of year, I always tell girls, you're not going to see me doing any hollering and screaming, because they know, they've been taught everything they need to know now. Now we just need to keep working in. So it gets to be a very emotional time. I mean, I get to some of the parents are, you know, what's wrong with my daughter, you know, because sometimes you see them more or talk to them more than the parents do. So, and that's a special moment. And as a good coach, you gotta, you know, you gotta excel in the moments, and you gotta know the right things to say to the girls. You don't always know the right things, but you know, it's like you said, you're like a second parent, second dad to them, and so sometimes it's tough because you have that fear of saying the wrong thing. And but fortunately, it's been pretty good so far. And then right away after tryouts, next group we get started, and we start going, at least once a week, every other week, getting ready for next year. So it never ends.
You gotta love it though, adding to his title, coach, father, mentor, and now therapist.
Now you just don't throw 10 kids out on the field, but here's the deal though. As we get to these type of tournaments here, tell us a little bit what the practices are like. Do you again? I know the drill, infield, outfield, and hitting, but there's got to be some specialties because, like you said, you keep an eye on what else is going on across the softball nation.
Yeah, and most, it's the stuff we do now. It's our practice actually gets shorter. Instead of going 2.5, 3 hours, now we're narrowed down to about 2 hours because there's not a whole lot of new we're going to incorporate now because it's just a little bit late in the season. You tweak a little bit, refresh memories on certain things. And so there's a lot of skills and drills, a lot of repetitions right now. Pitchers and catchers have to get their work in, strength and conditioning, and just making sure we're mentally ready to go. I tell the girls it sounds funny, but I need you to be intense, but relax intense. And it doesn't make sense to them sometimes, but they've got it by now.
I saw a play by Yasuo Puig on Sunday where, and I thought of you guys, and I thought of the old fast pitch league where, hey, you will do whatever it takes to take a base, and again, do you get some types of tips from the majors as well too? I mean, like I said, I saw that and I was like, gosh, that looks vaguely familiar.
The certain things I get are more position specific type things, like what's a catcher doing. What's a second baseman doing when they're receiving the ball from the shortstop or the third baseman? How's their footwork? And so that's the things I try to remind the girls. Did you see this? Or if I can record it, I'll show them. Look at this. This is what we're talking about. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. So we reach out to whatever kind of information we can get, to help us out.
Nick, I'll let you wrap it up again with the tournament one more time.
Oh, the tournament that's coming up this weekend, as Adam has mentioned, again, they will be down in Loveland, Colorado, competing in the Colorado State Tournament. Again, we'll update all information regarding times and also to scores on our Facebook and Twitter side as well, too, again, to keep all you folks at least updated on how the Cheyenne Extreme are doing, as we have been doing this entire season for them. So looking forward to it. Again, we're wrapping up very quickly with Cheyenne Extreme. It's hard to believe. And again, no more home games. I mean, do we broker like a CABA deal for them, or do they want to get involved with that?
It means that summer's coming to an end. It's only July 4th.
Yeah.
Coach, we wish you all the best. Thank you again for coming on in. The door is always open here. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys giving us some airtime and all the support you guys give us. So thanks.
Adam Gleesa, head coach of the Extreme 18 Under team, join us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. You got to pay.
Hop into the K-Ray Time Machine each Monday through Thursday for the golden age of radio, featuring famous radio classics such as Jack Armstrong and Suspense Theater, along with pioneers in the entertainment industry like Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello, along with many other performers who've captured our ears many, many years ago. Join us for the golden age of radio Monday through Thursday, 8 until 10 p.m. on 1480 K-Ray, also 101.1 FM, and you can also stream all of our programming on 1480kray.com.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-thru window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-thru window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside. And what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 85. And for tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 54. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 80 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15. And on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 54.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
As we are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today, our thanks to Adam Galicia joining us here in the first hour. We got Pat Graham coming up in hour number 2. It's always a fun time to talk with him. I'm glad that you got a chance to lock him down. He's been one busy cat and doing some vacation.
Busy, yeah, I was going to say he was in Europe doing vacation stuff in France, I think England as well. So, again, the world traveler that he is, again, you know, he went to the Olympics out in South Korea, so, you know, might as well do a Europe trip.
So let me do this here real quick while we got a few minutes before we talk with Pat next hour. Do we really want to get into Giants-Rocks game last night? I mean,
not really. Again, Bumgarner did well throughout.
And a rarity by Crawford. I mean, a rare
error. I guess we're going into it, so again.
I know, but I mean, it was a rare error that really kind of threw things out of whack for the Rocks last night. I mean, for the Giants.
I mean, for Crawford, it's nothing. He's had instances like that. Again, it's very rare, but it's not like he's immortal to stuff like that. So, again, Giants solid again with Madison Bumgarner. I think all the way up until the point he got pulled, 19, 20 scoreless innings in a row going back. So, again, Bumgarner right now showcasing how well he can do again. And then once they pulled him, here comes the Rockies. They took advantage of that bullpen where, again, the Giants, as much as kind of the Rockies do have an ailing bullpen, it certainly have a few issues. Nothing as major as what I consider, at least compared to the Rockies. But, you know, hey, kudos, Rockies. You got one at home. You finally did it in front of a roaring crowd of – there was no one there.
Well, they said 40,000 last night.
There was not 40,000 in those stands.
That's what they were saying.
Let's be honest.
They were saying 40,000.
40,000. Are you kidding me?
Well, you know, it depends on how many were liquored up at one of the nearby bars. I mean, but
there was not 40 in that. Again, with where you see sections just have like 5 fans in them. Yeah, please.
And again, I'm one that always disses on the Rockies fans because you and me, and we are baseball fans. We want to get there. If we could have our way, we'd get there during batting practice.
I always get there again. Gates open. I think.
Yeah. That's we like to get there and enjoy the ambiance and watch the teams on the field, whether they're doing infield alpha. It don't matter. We'd like to get there early enough to watch the whole game. I hate it, and I know the former host here. He was kind of laughing at me, going, hey,
the former host, he's not here anymore.
Well, that's just the way they used to. He's from that area, and it's like. Coming into the second, third inning, and it's like, come on, guys, what's wrong with you? This is baseball.
St. Louis doesn't do that. Again, a major metropolitan, they don't really la-di-da get into there.
They're lollygaggers.
Certainly, you see it out of Dodger fans again. San Francisco. I with the Giants again. It's more so of traffic where again that is so
and Dodger
complex down in downtown. But yeah, again, L.A. absolutely it is traffic of just trying to get there near downtown L.A. But for Denver, it's not really an excuse.
It's not. It's not cool to be there for all 9 innings. It's cool to get off and have a few beers and then go head over to the ballpark, or come there with your buddies. The one thing it drives me nuts, especially when we used to go down to those afternoon games. You got these guys there and they're on their damn cell phone and they're talking. It's like, and you're right in front of me. Gosh, I want to really just throw a peanut down their shirt or something like that. They drive you nuts.
I don't really care about people on their cell phones.
I do. It's
what if it's an emergency? What if it's something? Again, I'm not going to put anyone in a situation.
They're not on their cell phone during an emergency. Trust me. They're talking and doing business. Hey, real quick here, we're going to get into the NBA. The Denver Nuggets, before we get to the Warriors, the Denver Nuggets have traded forward Wilson Chandler and a future second-round draft pick to the 76ers, according to league sources talking to ESPN. Chandler's $12.8 million expiring contract will be absorbed into the Sixers' available cap space. And really, Denver has been looking to unload salary for months. The deal is going to save the Nuggets $50 million in combined salary and luxury tax. So the Nuggets' tax bill now drops from $51.3 million to $14.3 million. So,
which is interesting. There was all instances that they were going to keep Wilson Chandler, try to work a deal with him to at least keep him on board. That was kind of the offseason rumblings that him, with Wilson, Will Barton, and Jokic were going to return back to this team. But, guess you be part of the process now. Wilson Chandler out in Philadelphia, and Nuggets, as cheap as they are, hey, they lowered down that bill, I guess. So, cool. Again, Nuggets right now at this point in time, they could do everything at the point, there's nothing good that the Nuggets can do right now, especially with LeBron and all the offseason moves that have been, at least the mass migration that has been to the Western Conference right now, especially with LeBron to L.A., sorry, Nuggets, at this point in time, everything you're doing, whether it's unloading, whether it's re-signing big, at least current players, you're a team that's not making the playoffs.
Well, you got Jokic and Barton. You're going to have to build a team around them. Millsap already under contract. So
I'm just saying all the kind of big-name free agents are off the market.
Yeah,
There's really no one that stands out going, hey, there's that guy that the Nuggets can have.
You got your big three. How do you? I don't know. You're
big
right.
Three in Denver? Absolutely not. There is no such thing as a big three in the Nuggets.
Jokic is. You could put him up there.
Okay, your big three got you 9th place last year.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm not going to argue.
Congrats.
And
what's it going to get you this year? It's not getting you 9th place. It's probably a little bit lower now with the Lakers moving up ahead of you.
Yeah. Well, again, this is Kroenke for you. I mean, he's cheap.
And guess what? You're going to get a cheap team and a team that's not going to do anything.
Unless he pulls off some deal that
there is no deal. Again, they're not getting Kawhi. There's no.
No, I know they're not going to get.
There's no reason.
Who would even think they were going to get Kawhi?
No, I'm just saying. If you think at all that that's going to happen, absolutely not. Again, all the other kind of big name free agents out on the market are pretty much already locked up. Denver's not really that landing spot that those big names really want to go to. Again, whether it is a LeBron James, 30 to 45%. Yeah, get that out of the way, Earl Boykins, you moron. Again, also, too, you look at with Boogie Cousins. You look at Trevor Ariza. It's just some of the big names that we've seen already been dealt with in this offseason. Denver's not that landing spot. Denver never will be that landing spot for those big names. Is Denver that great? At least, again, it's not a storied franchise. It's a franchise that's still looking for its first ever NBA championship as much as it's existed for quite some time now. Denver's just not that pretty of a landing spot for these free agents, clearly. And it's never going to be. At least in my lifetime, probably. Again, I just don't see it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And again, coming from the old ABA into the NBA, they've been playoff teams in the past, but yeah, I don't see. And you know what? We'll probably.
And again, without looking at it, the Nuggets have never been to the NBA Finals, have they?
Not that I recall.
Yeah.
I think they've been in the West. They've had finals in the West, but I don't think they've ever.
Yeah, we know they've gone to the Western Conference Finals. I remember with the Carmelo days losing to the Lakers.
Yeah, but I don't remember them going into the NBA Finals. All right, so let's move on, and we're going to go out west.
But Nuggets right now for the fans, for the fan base. Again, your franchise and that team this upcoming season. Sorry, it's going to be a mediocre season because again, just how stacked the West is and what this team. Again, you got the talent, but the talent showed
a Kroenke-owned team.
But I'm just saying the talent was surprisingly good last season. Again, with Jokic, you saw what he did, but it got you 9th place last year. You played game 82 against Minnesota. You had a chance to get it into 8th place. You still couldn't get it done. Now with another team getting a superstar that wasn't in the playoff mix last year, they elevate themselves. There are thoughts that Phoenix, for whatever reason, is going to be a playoff team this year out of the Pacific. Highly doubt it. But they have certainly made some moves that have kind of raised some eyebrows in the West. But, Denver right now is kind of behind the 8 ball where, sure, you're signing up your big names, but, your big names couldn't do enough for you last season. Now with a extremely stacked Western Conference, sorry.
Well, and again, the big news, obviously, when we were talking yesterday was LeBron moving on to the Lakers. Kawhi still in doubt. Nothing's been done by the Spurs.
It's not in doubt. He's moving, but just to where we do not know.
It's in doubt. We don't know where he's going to go. But one of the surprise move, and then we also...
It was a huge surprise.
We had few... movements from those that were free agents that were expected to move on, and they ended up staying with their same team. But Boogie Cousins, DeMarcus Cousins, come on, give me a break. And
from New Orleans. So
you told me that last night. I was like, what?
Yeah. So if you can't get Anthony Davis, how about get the partner in crime there, New Orleans, with Boogie Cousins again? DeMarcus Cousins with the New Orleans Pelicans did sign a 1-year deal with the Golden State Warriors.
Dare I say another splash brother now?
He's not a splash brother. He said it in the All-Star game again, and he's a third. He considers himself the third splash brother as much as he.
Dare I call him a splash brother?
He's not a splash brother.
The guy had 25 points for.
This is
13 boards and 5 assists.
Yeah, this is. I think in NBA history, this team exporting with KD, Steph, and now Boogie Cousins going into the season. It's the first ever NBA team that's had 3 players on it that have averaged 25 points at least in their last season with a team. So you already had some serious firepower with the Warriors. Hey, JaVale McGee, thanks for everything.
See you, bye.
Bye-bye. We don't need you now. We got our big man replacement with Boogie Cousins on the inside.
And that also takes pressure off Andre Iguodala. Puts him back in his regular position.
Sorry, again, I don't even say Andre Iguodala. It takes pressure off of Draymond Green.
That too. But I'm just saying, with Iguodala, he goes back to where he is comfortable as that 6th man. He comes in, and he's the enforcer. I like Draymond Green on the floor, and he's out there and he's taking on everybody. Well, when Iguodala comes in, you put him on anybody, and he gets the job done.
Yeah, I think combined with all 5, you have a few MVPs on this team. Everyone has had more than at least, I do believe, 4 All-Star appearances combined, at least through each player. As much as people wanted to give the Lakers and award them, saying, hey, that's going to be your Western Conference representative in the NBA Finals, I told you the pump of brakes yesterday. Now, knowing all this, now with the addition to DeMarcus Cousins with the Warriors, that's a really hard stop of going, Lakers, sorry, you have no shot against this team. This is the NBA super team right now. There is no doubt about it. Again, you have this team without DeMarcus Cousins already won a championship. Now you add this guy on. He added more value to this team.
Well, this is the same thing.
This is a scary team.
This is the same thing, too. And again, this is apples to oranges, and I don't want this coming off wrong. When KD decided to become a Warrior, you and me both said, hey, this just seals the deal.
Oh, yeah.
We knew that KD was going to be impactful from the get-go.
Well, and again, what were they doing before KD? They were still winning a championship before they brought on Kevin Durant. So, yeah, it just elevated that team.
It just made them that much better. So you still have your crew in Steph.
You still have your core.
Clay, Draymond, and KD, and Andre. So there's your big 5 right there. And then you turn around and you bring in a Boogie Cousins. And then I'm thinking to myself last night after you told me all of this, and I was doing some work down there, I said, I'm not even remotely concerned about what the Lakers could do, even if they got Kawhi. Just throw that in there.
No.
Houston, I still give Houston the respect.
It's going to be competitive between them.
Chris Paul I think he will sign for the dollars. But I think Boogie Cousins now makes Golden State that number 1 seed.
And again, with this team, we saw what they did last year. Again, finishing number 2, they had a rough through, at least with the injury bug, and still win a championship. Right now, this elevates them. Are they really? Was this a situation to elevate them to get them into the number 1 seed? I don't think at this point in time the Warriors really care.
Well, no, but I mean that just kind of solidified. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean absolutely. This elevates to this is your modern day NBA. With Kevin Durant addition, now this is extra super team. This is this is a team that across the league and across every fan base, everyone should absolutely be worried about.
And, I like what the Warriors are doing. And, again, we're going to be, homeboys on this one. Because
I don't care. I'm glad.
No, I know.
Let me take advantage of this because, again, I was there years ago watching this team barely get 15 wins.
No, I understand that. But my point is, though, Nick, is Warriors management, the ownership, they know what they've got.
They know what they're doing.
And they've got a dynasty in their hands right now, and they don't want it to fold. They don't want it to crumble. So they talk to KD. They talk him into staying a couple more years. They're going to work on Clay. Steph's in for, another 2-3 more years. Iguodala's signed up. I think Draymond has a couple more years.
He just recently signed up.
So, and then now Boogie's only in for one season.
Yeah.
And guess what? If they win a championship, like you said yesterday and you said it before, they're there to win championships.
And again, I think DeMarcus is at that point where this is a move for him. It makes sense where he's been through the crud with Sacramento. Had the issues there with New Orleans. Granted, that was injury bug with him, but it's a situation where I think DeMarcus Cousins goes, hey, I see what they're doing. It's a championship team. I want to get mine while I can.
And he's going to get, if he gets that one. And again, the Warriors reward you. So you signed for a year at $5.5 million. Who knows what next year is going to bring for him?
And I think for the
Warriors,
and again for the Warriors, this is a smart deal. Again, 1 year where it's not saying you're taking a gamble. Obviously, this is a known player. You know what you're getting out of him. I mean, this is a big time name that you're getting with this team. But it's a situation where if it doesn't work out, hey, we had fun, DeMarcus. Now, see ya, bye-bye, and then kind of move on of, hey, maybe we do go after Anthony Davis or someone else next season. But it's a smart move where, hey, if it works out, hey, DeMarcus, come see me.
But all the experts back in the day with KD, and it's like, oh no, he's going to be an inconvenience when he joins the Warriors, and he fit in like a glove. And this is the thing too, when Cousins joins this team, he's going to be shocked at how many basketballs he's going to have in his hands, because the Warriors are a very unselfish team.
He saw that enough with New Orleans, though. Again, New Orleans.
I understand that, but again, we got James over in Los Angeles now, who's got to put the team on his shoulders for the time being. And then he's going to be trying to do.
Because let's be honest, it's LeBron James, and they just added as well too Rajon Rondo. He's at the tail end of his career. Who cares? Is it something where that's going to help? It's kind of a J.R. Smith of.
And Christian, I thought maybe Rondo would have been one for the Nuggets to go after. But, this situation here with Cousins, he's going to find this ball club is unselfish. He will have plenty of basketballs to shoot at the hoop. And you know what? This is a team, too, that once in a while for me, they drive me nuts because they can go stupid on you. On the floor.
Well, and this is
a team that can just pile it on you quick.
This is a team that now has an inside presence where, again, now you didn't really have that with Zaza. You didn't really have that with David West. JaVale, he was your kind of solid middle guy.
For about 10 minutes.
And that's about it. But now with adding Boogie Cousins to this team, no, you have a solid big man in the middle where, again, you can get your rebounds, give these extra shooters, hey, Clay, you're struggling. Hey, here I am to take care of you. I got a rebound. Take one more shot, courtesy of me. I'll pass you that ball. Or either, hey, go for the easy two. They're DeMarcus. The possibilities are endless.
But
and again, right now for this team, it's something where the entire league, and you can see it on social media, everyone's whining and complaining about this. But hey, that's the beauty of the free agency of market where, hey, he made that decision. We did not know about that. No, and according to DeMarcus, there were no other teams giving him options. It was the Warriors that kind of stepped up and said it very loudly of, hey, come join us.
Yeah, and now you have 5 guys that can shoot from beyond the perimeter. I like that. And Draymond really doesn't like
DeMarcus
he shoots very well from beyond the arc. So
he's not a splash brother.
I didn't say he was. I was kidding about that, but I'm just saying, you got 5 guys now that can hit from beyond the arc, and that takes a little pressure off. Andre, he can work on the inside when he comes in as a 6th man. Same with Draymond. He doesn't have to shoot from 25 feet out anymore. All right, we got to take a timeout. When we come back, hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk today. In that hour, we're going to talk to our good friend from Denver, the AP sports writer, Pat Graham. We'll back after these words on 1480 K-Ray.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. So now's the time to find ways to beat the heat, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Our final hour of our final show of the week. Yes, we'll be taking tomorrow off along with Thursday and Friday. So we wish you all a very happy 4th of July upcoming weekend. Some are taking...
Just don't blow yourself up.
Some are taking some of the front part of the week off. We're going to take the second half of the week off.
I decided it. And then next week it's even more wackier.
Yeah, because we got baseball. We're going to be at a lot of baseball next week. All right, hour number 2 being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. Loaded potato olays, 6-pack at a pound, their sirloin steak burrito. Oh, it's Tuesday. It is Taco Tuesday at Taco John's. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range right across from Menards. Remember them for breakfast 6 days a week. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations. See Rick and the great staff over on Vandehigh, the original location, and their secondary location on the east side at the corner of College and Pershing. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. You will see Gene and the great staff right there on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body, 2 locations. The Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. And for the auto repairs and truck repairs, go to Dunn Avenue. To keep people of Cheyenne, they come by to clean it so you don't have to. Rachel's your contact person at 414-0074. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue. You want to talk to Tim and the great staff over there about some great CD rates going on right now. Open Monday through Friday, First Tier Bank. Mondello's Pizzeria right across the street, 1507 Stillwater Avenue. Paisan Cuisine at its finest with delicious pizzas. Matter of fact, Food Network folks have ranked that pizza in the top 10 in the nation. That's how good it is. Wyoming, Montana Safety Council. Give Tim a call, 635-4592. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. Lincoln Way Liquor, 2825 East Lincoln Way, where you want to load up for the 4th of July holiday. Don't get too loaded, but you can load up on some good beverages over there at Lincoln Way Liquor. And, of course, Pepsi of Cheyenne, sponsoring our Pepsi scoreboard. We go to the scoreboard where Nick says, I have this.
I have just 2 to pass along, and it's both with the Cheyenne Post 6 earlier. They are in a doubleheader. Game 1 at Pioneer Park today. They were taking on Cheyenne Mountain. Won that contest 11-9. Game number 2 in action right now over at Pioneer Park. It's top of the 4th. Cheyenne Mountain is leading 2-1 against the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers for at least before the end of this game. Right now for Cheyenne Post 6, they are 38-12 overall.
We go to the Major League ballparks. We have one game in progress. Brewers and the Twins, 2-0 at Miller Park. They've moved to the bottom of the 5th inning. Cubs win. They down the Tigers 5-3 today as they win at Wrigley Field over the Motor City Kitties. Bottom of the 1st inning, top of the 1st, just getting underway. Red Sox and the Nats at Nats Park. Games in the 5 o'clock hour. Braves at the Yankees. Orioles at the Phils. Mets, Blue Jays in the Rogers Center. White Sox, Reds at Great American Ballpark. Rays, Marlins at Marlins Park in Miami. 6 o'clock game. Astros, Rangers at Globe Life Park in Arlington. Giants and the Rocks at Coors Field. Right now, 91 degrees at Coors Field. Antonio Senzatella will toe the rubber for the Rockies. He's 2-1, 6.23 ERA. He's matching up with Chris Stratton, who's 8-5 with a 4.45 earned run average. Basically, what I'm saying is, could be a lot of runs scored tonight. Indians and the Royals at Kauffman Stadium, 7 o'clock game. We'll have the Padres and the Oco against the Athletics. Cardinals and the D-backs at Chase. It's 107 degrees outside in Phoenix right now. Inside, what, about 71 or 2 degrees?
They have an air conditioner, so yeah, I think they keep it around 80.
No, they don't keep it at 80. It's got to be in the mid-70s.
I can't remember.
8 o'clock game, we'll have the Angels and the M's at Safeco Dodger Stadium, where the Los Angeles Dodgers, after just pounding the Pirates last night, 70-1, they will have the Buccos again. Clayton Kershaw will get the nod for the Dodgers. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a two-step with you in two
It's a whole new ball game.
Let's play ball.
You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
It's always nice to pick his brain, talking with Pat Graham, Denver AP sports writer. So we're going to move along from baseball, and we're going to check in now with hoops. And, of course, Nuggets have made some news here during the free agent signing period.
So I'm looking forward to talking to Pat, the free agent frenzy that has been the past just few days.
Exactly. But, let's talk about the Nuggets. And again, they trade Chandler to the 76ers to unload salary cap money. They get Will Barton in place. Jokic looks like he's going to get the big deal. Sometimes Kroenke makes my head explode.
Yeah, it's funny because they've had a nice offseason. They've really had a nice offseason. They've done what they needed to do, and I think they're getting a tremendous value pick, or maybe not, in Michael Porter Jr. I think that was at number 14. I think he was a fantastic pick at that spot because traditionally number 14 picks don't really pan out. It's just, but you got a guy who could have been a number 1 pick if things would have been different, his back would have been different, his hip would have been different. So it's a great pick. But the thing is you had this nice offseason, but you're no closer to anything because everyone in the West had a fantastic offseason.
Absolutely. Again, I'll go ahead, Pat.
Great. Oklahoma City, great. Lakers, great. Golden State, what? They're not that good. I'm just kidding. 5 All-Stars now. It's just unreal how good the Western Conference is.
Well, and that brings up the question then again, we just talked about this before we brought you on, Pat, is, at least I brought up the issue of, hey, the Nuggets, you re-signed your major players. Again, we had Jokic putting on the phenomenal numbers that he did last year, but it still wasn't enough to get you in as an 8 seed. You lost it on Game 82 against Minnesota on the road. You signed up these guys. You haven't really done a whole lot of moves in the offseason. Again, move in Wilson Chandler. Not a really big loss to the Nuggets, but at least in my opinion. But now with the Nuggets, what do they need to do to get into the playoffs, especially in this stacked West? Again, now with Lakers, where again they were a non-playoff team. They're absolutely a playoff team. They're going to bump someone out, whether that is Minnesota or whoever. But what do the Nuggets need to do to get into the 8 spot, or at least try and compete for a playoff spot this season?
Outside of petitioning to move to the East, that is?
Yeah, outside those factors.
It's funny because, if any, I know this is silly, but I'm a big proponent. I would love to see it seeded 1 through 16. The best 16 go. Not Eastern and Western Conference, because the balance of power is, I just think in years past it's been in the East, but lately it's been in the West. And Nuggets was top 16 team last year. They should have been in, but they were the 9th because they lost game 82. What can they do? I just think you got to count on everybody taking another step forward. You got to count on Jamal Murray becoming taking another step, and Nicole taking another step, and all these guys. That's all you can do, because what else is there? There's not much out there that's just going to really help you around. Can you bring in one of the Lopez brothers? Okay, but I just think that, and Michael Porter Jr., I think he's the X factor. If he can just get back to what everybody expected him to be, he could be a phenomenal addition. He could be a Rookie of the Year type guy.
Looking at the West and with LeBron making the announcement and signing with the Lakers, obviously, yes, and I'll agree with Nick that he propels that team to a playoff team. They need another piece in place. Who that's going to be, if it's going to be Kawhi or not. But let's be real honest. He moves from Cleveland, where they almost are a lock to get into the playoffs, and they're going to be
a lock to also get into the finals.
And probably get into the finals, but going to Los Angeles, do you really think he's going to be better than the Houston Rockets and better than the Golden State Warriors? I don't understand the move by LeBron. You probably have more insight on that than I do.
That's true. No, I just think that. It's funny because if you restore, LeBron's done everything. LeBron's LeBron. He's just. I argued for years that they should have a lottery just for LeBron, and whatever number you get, that's what year you get him for. So if you got the 7th pick, you get LeBron in the 7th year. That way everybody gets a year with him because he's that good a player and that transformative a player. But if he goes to the Lakers and he transforms that program or that franchise and brings it back to the winners, I know that they have a lot of statues out front, but his will be just up there too because he's that kind of player. I just think that he had to make. I mean, there's something about the purple and gold. He couldn't turn his back on it.
Yeah, again, you can't go wrong with history, the storied franchise, and everything. But, again, Pat, here's going to be a little tongue-in-cheek kind of question for you. Now, as we've talked about on this show, I brought it up, and it happened on a other radio network down in the Denver area. But Earl Boykins had to go on and say that there was a 35 to 40% chance that the Nuggets were going to land LeBron James in this offseason. Is Earl Boykins, is it fair to put some shame on him to taunt the Nuggets fans with this nonsense that LeBron would never go to Denver? In any scenario, there's no way LeBron or any kind of major name is going to the Denver Nuggets.
Earl had some good smoke to toke.
I think that maybe he has some intel that we're not privy to, but I think that if you put LeBron on the Denver Nuggets as they're constructed right now, they would be in the. I mean, they'd be in the conversation for something just because they have LeBron. But you're not beating Golden State. You're not beating Houston. You're not beating, you'd probably beat the Thunder. But I don't know. It's funny. You also heard reports that the Nuggets had serious conversations with LeBron James, or they wanted an audience with him. Well, you know what? Everyone in the league wanted an audience with him. I mean, I think that he had his chosen few that he wanted to talk to, and he went. I mean, I think that. Everybody's. I love this move by DeMarcus Cousins. I think that is such a business savvy move. It's great. He can try to win a ring. He can heal up at his own time. He can prove himself, and then he can get his max deal next year.
I'm glad you brought that up because we were talking about this last hour as well too. Both Nick and myself, and me being formerly from the East Bay area, growing up there. Being a Warrior fan, and Giants and A's and all that other good stuff. But this, to me, is what we haven't seen in a long time, a true dynasty where nobody wants to leave and guys actually want to play for, obviously, the obvious reason they want to win a ring, but it's a true dynasty that's going on in the East Bay area right now.
Exactly. No, everybody's like, oh, it's bad for the NBA. I'm like, why? Why is it bad? It wasn't bad for the Celtics and the Lakers back in the 80s. I mean, when the Pistons, when they're the bad boys, I mean, it's just, you love a dynasty because, A, there's going to be people who love them and there's people who hate them. There's that faction out there of both sides. And I just, I don't know. Personally, I love watching the Golden State Warriors play. I love watching Steve Kerr coach. I don't think it's bad. I'll still watch them. I could see Kevin Durant maybe, winning another ring with Golden State this year, and maybe hopping down the road and going to the Lakers next year, opting out and going to the Lakers and joining LeBron in 2019-20.
Well, by the way, too, Kerr got a contract extension from the Warriors. But real quick before, and I don't mean to interrupt, Nick. We looked at baseball and the nice deal that they had, and ownerships were making some money. And of course, in the National Football League, the clubhouse there for those owners, they're making a pile of money. But Silver is making a bunch of money for these owners right now, and it's amazing too with the Golden State Warriors. You look at the millions of dollars that they're paying out, but yet the ownership is just raking it in left and right.
Well, exactly, and personally, if the Warriors are on TV, I watch. I think they play a fun brand of basketball. When the Lakers are going to be on, I'm going to watch. When the Rockets are going to be on, maybe a little bit, but I'll still watch a little bit. There's teams you're just going to watch. I mean, that's all you're going to see on ESPN or on games of the night, or Warriors and Lakers, because everybody's going to watch. It's I don't know. I just I like to see it. I just think that it's going to be fun to watch the Warriors. And everybody's like, oh, how many games they're going to lose and how many they can't be beat. I'm like, well, you know what? Anything can happen, but injuries are going to play a role. But right now, on paper, that is one good team. That's one fantastic, maybe a fantastic team.
It's a scary team, but also do I have to keep on saying people who complain about this Warriors team and at least a dynasty out there again. Hey, let us enjoy it at this time again. I can remember, and he across the way again, knowing this team for quite some, at least a longer time again. We've seen seasons where this team could barely get 15 wins, so let us enjoy it while we can.
And what did Klay Thompson say?
Again, hey, rest of the NBA, get good, get better. Yeah, at least to that. Yeah, it certainly is. Now, Pat, I want to shift back to the Denver Nuggets. It's a big question that I do believe we've asked you in at least in the beginning portion, at least of this show's history back in August when we did have you on. But here we are in the offseason now. The name Kenneth Faried has been tossed around. Is he finally going to be leaving the Denver Nuggets? Is this, again, in my personal opinion, the cancer of that locker room who, we saw he had issues last season, or at least was vocal about it, but are the Nuggets going to do something about him this season and finally get him off of this team?
In my opinion, no. No. I just don't know who will take that contract. Who are you what are you gonna do? What are you gonna try to give up to get that contract? I mean, that contract is it's a formidable obstacle, and that's what makes trading him so difficult. And that's why I saw on ESPN, like you alluded to, that they referenced that the trade with the Sixers. That's why they may get some salary off the books that way. If they could somehow get Faried off the books, wow, that's a huge that's a huge gain. I mean, you could actually make a run next offseason for, I don't know what's going to be out there. So I don't know what you can bring in that will change the landscape and make you a factor in the playoffs. I mean, I guess you could be like a Utah or something. I mean, Utah and Denver could be the same type of team. If some of those parts come through, that could be a 4 or 5 seed, and maybe squeeze a first round series win and then get beat.
All right, final questions that we have for you, a couple of them. Dove Valley's going to open up for business here pretty quick, and yet another quarterback for the Denver Broncos to get the call. I would think, and barring injury, that this cat's going to be leading the Broncos all throughout the course of the season.
Yeah,
Case Keenum.
Yeah, I just think that me personally, just I went back and watched some of the Vikings tape last year just to see what kind of quarterback he was, and what I saw as a quarterback who made a lot of plays with his life, kept plays alive, and just a heady guy who made smart decisions. And I think he's going to be more the same here. If that line gives him any protection, he's going to have a dynamite year. And I honestly think that the whole key to this offense, and I think he's going to have a phenomenal year personally, just having watched him in college, is Royce Freeman. I think he's the key, and I think he's going to have a big year. I think he's going to be, I'm not going to say like Saquon Barkley or anything, but why not? I mean, what happens if he turns out to be that kind of back? Like a transformative back. And he did it at Oregon. I mean, he could do it. He could do it here.
Yeah. Final thought on the Broncos this year, since we haven't had a chance to talk to you a while. Looking at, they had a lot of draft picks in this year's draft. What do you think of all of the picks that they got? Anybody that's going to? I would think Chubb obviously is going to be hopefully that impact player, but anybody else that's going to be somebody we got to keep our eye on?
Well, Cortland's going to be good, obviously. I'm partial, but I'm a big Royce Freeman guy. I just think that I think that was one of the steals of the draft.
And we saw him last year in Laramie, and he's a good athlete.
He can do everything for you. I'm not trying to downgrade Devontae Booker. I think Devontae Booker's a nice back. I just think that Royce Freeman could be your home run guy. I just think that, I've watched a ton of Oregon football. Big fan of Royce Freeman. I think that, and Bradley Chubb, I think, is going to have a fantastic year. I just kind of hope that we haven't seen the last of Shane Ray. I hope he can get healthy and get on the field.
With all the offseason moves, draft picks, and everything, as it's way too early prediction time, I guess, Pat, but we'll put you under the gun. This Denver Broncos team, as is right now, barring injuries, we'll just say every piece is going to be healthy-ish. Case Keenum is going to, be the X factor, obviously, going into the season. Is he going to be the Minnesota Case or the rest of his kind of NFL career Case Keenum? But is the Denver Broncos this season, again, with Oakland at least being a threat, L.A., the Chargers, I think they're going to be a little bit more improved. Kansas City, you don't really know what to expect out of them, especially losing Alex Smith. But is the Denver Broncos a playoff team for this season?
I'm gonna say closing the gap from last year to this year, from 5 wins last year to a playoff team. I think that's too much to ask. I think they'll be pushing toward a playoff spot, but that league, I mean, hey, a couple wins fall their way, yes, but I just, as constructed, going into the season, I would say they're more along the lines of a 9-7 team than a 10-6 team, and I think 9-7 won't get you in.
All right, Pat, it is always a pleasure talking to you, and we're going to catch up with you again down the road in a little bit. So enjoy going back to work and catching all. You're out at the ballpark tonight, right? You got the Giants and the Rocks?
I was out there last night, and I'm out there tomorrow night. Tonight I am not. We're just working on some other stuff today, and back out there tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. Hey, Pat, thanks again. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Hey, always a pleasure talking to you fellas. You take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
All righty. Pat Graham, Denver AP sports writer, join us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We are getting close to the top of the hour. I know we got about 17 minutes, but bottom line is we do need to take a break, and we'll be right back.
For 56 years, 1480 K-Ray has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Also with KYY-FM, we are Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM-FM combo radio stations. Add that to the addition of 3 FM radio translators to serve the area with programming from both K-Ray and KYY, and that equals a lot of bang for your local advertising dollar. Radio, yesterday and today, still works. For more information, contact Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned, full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy, we'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 85. For tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 54. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 80 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15. And on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 54.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 K-Ray.
You know, we could have kept Pat on the whole hour, but we'll wait till when Valley opens for business, and Pat has a chance to, size up what's going on at Broncos camp. So he gives them a outside 10-6, 9-7.
Again, he mentioned that, and what I've been saying, it's not Broncos this season. And again, for you fans out there, it's not a playoff team. Sorry, you're going to be looking up. You're going to be looking up to the Chargers. You're going to be looking up to the Raiders. Kansas City, that is the one question mark of, are they going to survive without Alex Smith? Is Mahomes going to be a stud for the Chiefs? Who knows? Is Case Keenum going to be what we saw in Minnesota, or is it going to be the regular Case Keenum that has been throughout his career of he sucks? But, again, right now it's a situation where I look at this team post-draft, what they've done in the offseason. Here we are heading into, training, at least within training camp and also through the preseason. This is still not a team that is going – it might improve. I gave them one game improvement from last season. Again, looking at that schedule is not friendly to them. Again, they go on the road, and some of those road opponents are insanely tough. Again, especially now taking on the NFC West with the likes of, the 49ers, who are going to be improved. You're going to see Seattle. Arizona, we don't know. And then, obviously, the Rams. We know what to expect out of them. But, again, Denver, that, along with Kansas City, is kind of the biggest question mark. And I would say probably in the entire NFL, probably also to the 49ers of,
how well will they be?
Yeah, what are these teams going to be, at least in this season? Are they going to be good, bad, playoff bound? Who knows? There are 3 question marks right now in the NFL, and again, those 3 teams where, what is going to happen? Who knows?
Here's a guy that is a question mark, Terrell Owens. So he announces on his Twitter account today that he will make his Pro Football Hall of Fame induction speech at his alma mater, the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, on August 4th.
I guess we got a call, and we might as well take it.
Let's go to the phone line here. Hey, welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today. How you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. What you know?
I need to know where we could go shoot off fireworks here in Cheyenne.
Can't shoot them off in the city. Sorry, pal.
Right. Is there any place where we could go to shoot them off for free?
No, there usually was an area in Laramie County that they had cordoned off, but you can't do it this year. So you can shoot them off in Laramie County, but you better have permission from the property owner if you do that.
Right. So there ain't no free place for everybody.
Nope. All right. All righty.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. See you. Bye. All right. So anyway, so Terrell Owens will be doing his Pro Football.
We have a sports at least question, but go figure. You got to take that gamble.
Hey, I was on.
I can't screen any of those calls. So
I was on top of it. I read that story earlier this morning.
I was hoping it's a telemarketer.
Anyway, Pro Football Hall of Fame induction speech at his alma mater, the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. That'll be on August 4th. The former wide receiver had previously announced that he would not attend the Hall of Fame enshrinement ceremony in Canton, Ohio, scheduled for the same date. After giving it much thought, this is what Owen said: "I have realized just how much I want to celebrate what will inevitably be the best weekend of my life at a place that means so much to me," he said in a statement. You and me both are questioning, does he have a problem with the men in the gold jackets?
I think he has an issue with the NFL, and he just hasn't come out and said about it. Again, this is a guy who got kind of shunned, or at least he, in years past, thought he was shunned by the NFL, where he feels that he can still continue playing his career. Again, as he's been trying to get back in the CFL and NFL, saying, hey, teams, I can still play at my age. And, again, it's something that he's still pursuing to this day. Again, maybe it's something where he has a legitimate issue with Goodell in the NFL of just how it's kind of, done with T.O.'s career. At least, maybe my thought process with T.O. to get in his mind is, the NFL kind of stymied me from being back in at least playing, longer in my career, continuing my career. And sorry, NFL, I don't, I feel hurt by it, and I don't really want to celebrate with you guys. That's just my opinion. Do I think he has any issue with anyone who's going in the Hall of Fame class? I don't think so. I think it's more so just the NFL in general, and probably that front office.
Politics that are involved in the NFL?
Possibly, too. Again, without him coming out and directly saying it, you can only speculate. But, again, if I had to piece together of everything, it's just more so of how he, kind of was treated at the end of his career in the NFL. Of, he wasn't really given that opportunity. And again,
and I'm going to quote you by saying boo-hoo. I mean, Terrell Owens was his own worst enemy. Now, again, his years in San Francisco were okay.
I mean, he was doing the same antics in San Francisco as he was doing anywhere else.
He was more nationalized with the Dallas Cowboys.
Because he was nationalized with the 49ers. That's where it started. Again, with the antics, he was signing footballs. He had the Sharpie pin and everything. That was under the burgundy and gold of the San Francisco 49ers. And
the popcorn was with the Cowboys, and that was stupid.
I'm just saying he's done that. They've all done their antics again. It's same with Ochocinco again with Chad Johnson. I have no issues with all that end zone. Again, thankfully the NFL loosened the regulations on end zone celebrations. I think it was stupid to go, oh yeah, you get a penalty if you want to have fun with your rest of your teammates of, oh, it's, taunting.
But
who cares?
That's what I'm saying. The NFL, did they look at that more of taunting or being just belligerent, which T.O. was? So let's be honest. T.O. was belligerent. He was not funny.
I'd say he was
not
a showman.
He was not a clown. No, he was not. He was a jerk.
Was he, though?
Yeah, I think he was.
Signing a football as being a jerk? Throwing it into the crowd, I guess. He opens up a cell phone and has fun with that, I guess.
I mean, look.
Is that being a jerk?
Look at the chastising.
The only jerk thing he did was spiking the football on the at least on the Cowboy Star, and I had no issue with that. Again, he was playing with the Philadelphia
Eagles.
Eagles.
Look what Odell Beckham did, and look how chastised he got for that.
Good. Who cares? Like, if it offends you, I guess you shouldn't be watching then, or at least just tune out when that player is on. Again, for me, was it ever an issue with Ochocinco, Odell, or whoever the hell was doing any of these end zone wacky celebrations? Who cares? Does it mean anything? Not really.
So why is
just
he bitter?
extra?
He was allowed to be a clown. So why is
what is your argument right now? I don't understand where you're going with.
I don't understand why Terrell Owens can't be in Canton.
I don't
Ohio.
think again. It's got to be something with the NFL. Is it something that the NFL? I think it's more so just how they handled the end of his career. Again, it's a guy who has said for many years, "Hey, I want to continue playing," and maybe it's a situation where the NFL, not to speculate or start any controversies, but maybe it's a situation where the NFL said, hey, T.O., you're done. No teams are going to take a look at you and just call it a career.
So
We're
basically,
not
they blackballed him. That's what you're thinking.
That's what I'm thinking. Again, I don't feel like I'm far off on that, at least.
So pretty similar to Colin Kaepernick. You feel that he was blackballed. I mean, that's what Kaepernick feels.
That's what he feels like. And again, it could be a situation, and I think that's probably what is going through the mind of T.O. of why he doesn't want to compete with it, or at least want to do this Hall of Fame induction ceremony, is he just feels, hey, NFL, you showed me disrespect. I don't care about being a part of your ceremonies. And again, if it is a situation, if he does come out and say that was his situation, hey, more power to you. Go right ahead. If you it's kind of like the average man of, hey, if you got an issue with a company, they did you wrong, and you don't want to be part of like any retirement celebration or something like that, go right ahead. Absolutely, I have no fault. It's kind of how you feel about it. If that's how it is, you are you. You can make that individual decision. Well, I don't fault him. I don't care.
Okay. Well, and
I'm just saying.
Will he eventually say anything? That's what we definitely want to know.
I would hope so.
But he's such a clown. Nobody knows.
He's not a clown.
He is. He is, in my opinion.
He's the second best wide receiver in the NFL.
He's a disgrace to wear that 49er uniform the way he's.
I don't know what the hell you're talking
about. He's a baby, and again, well, I remember his show that he did, his reality show. That was even more.
Who hasn't done a reality show in the NFL? Let's be honest.
Well, it wasn't all that exciting, that's for sure.
All right, that you paid attention to that.
From the National Football League to Wyoming Cowboys football, preseason honors from Street and Smith's 2018 College Football Yearbook. I know we're running short on time. Yeah.
What is this?
Street and Smith's 2018 College Football Yearbook. You can get this. It's on the press. It's on the stands, right?
I already saw that, but it was like, okay, this is a thing. Cool.
All right. Well, anyway, their rating of the Mountain West, Andrew Wingard, strong safety, top NFL prospect. Johanna, how do you say his last name?
Gaffon. This is just dumb.
Defensive tackle, best athlete. Scotty Hazelton, defensive coordinator to watch. Tyler Vanderwall, quarterback, top freshman.
Whatever.
And Nick Smith, quarterback, top scholar. And the reason he gets top scholar, he's already graduated. He had a 3.92 ERA, GPA, and now is going for his master's in finance. The All-Mountain West team, Andrew Wingard, senior, strong safety. Carl Granderson, senior, defensive end. And Johanna Gaffon, junior defensive tackle. That's what Street and Smith is predicting for 2018.
That is probably the dumbest thing I have ever heard before. I have to be honest with you again. Who cares?
Evidently, that's just to go out and sell some stuff.
Apparently, again, we gotta award stuff like that, prospects and stuff like that.
They always have.
Just let them play.
They always have those preseason stuff that comes out.
How stupid is that?
We got.
What are we gonna have like next? Mr. Congeniality next season.
Well,
we know
you will not be involved.
Good.
All right, so let's move on here. We want to remind everybody we got the best of the 50s and 60s coming up after we depart here at 5 o'clock. From 8 until 10, it is our golden age of radio, and we have some great shows for you. Red Skelton times 2 from 8 until 9 tonight, and from 9 until 10, it is our suspense theater.
Of course, we have great shows. I picked them up.
All right. Like I said, Mr. Congeniality right across the way.
Absolutely.
All right. We will be absent tomorrow. And we wish everybody
Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, we wish everybody a happy Independence Day holiday, and make sure it's a safe Independence holiday, like the gentleman who called wanting to blow off fireworks. Make sure you have plenty of water around.
He sounds like the person where it's like you have to put up the disclaimer of do not put fireworks in your hand, or those M80s, they're not to be
at least
held.
Again, now you're being stupid.
I'm just saying.
At least the guy called and said, "Hey,
that's true.
Where are the safe spots?" And there isn't any. The Laramie County has none this year, and you have to go to an individual property owner in Laramie County. But again, if you're going to blow off fireworks, water, have yourself.
There's thunderstorms. There's thunderstorms in the forecast for tomorrow.
But anyway,
so
bottom
it's
line,
slight, but you never know.
Just be safe and be very careful.
Yeah, you know about being safe. I remember one year.
I remember the fire. You started one year too, knucklehead.
It wasn't me. I didn't like
that.
Yes,
it was you.
That was the wind.
Yeah, it was the wind. Luckily, I had the fire extinguisher with me. Thank goodness. All right. Anyway,
I didn't do it,
folks. Trust me. You know me, and this clown across the way. Yeah, he's the one who started. Anyway, what do we got for on this date in history?
On this date, as it's July 3rd, we'll go back to the year 1966. This first time in the National League happened. This pitcher did a first ever in the National League in 1966.
I'm going to say he hit 2 home runs in one game.
Close.
Wow. Two grand slams in one game.
Yeah.
Bill Necro.
No. He was with the Atlanta Braves.
He was with the Atlanta Braves who hit the home runs?
So he was with the Atlanta Braves. He was the first player and only pitcher to hit 2 grand slams in an MLB game. It was 17-3 against the San Francisco Giants. Atlanta Braves only pitcher to hit 2 grand slams in a game.
It wasn't Joe Neal.
Atlanta Braves.
Oh, gosh.
TC.
Tony Cloninger.
There you go.
Ooh. And I didn't look at your notes. Look, I'm over here. I can't see, but I got the name right.
I feel like you saw the printout earlier because I left it over there.
You know what? You're just a slug. That's all there is. SLUG. Period.
I'm surprised you can spell.
Yeah. No, I'm
surprised you didn't pull off a homer there going, hey, I'm so smart, SMRT.
I'm changing that from period now to exclamation point. Slug.
Go buy me some Taco John's.
No, I have a birthday party. There's a young man who's turning a year old today, and I got invited. I'm Uncle Larry. All right, so I am leaving, and you're on your own. Folks, have a great Independence Day holiday. We will catch up with you coming up on Monday of next week. So for Nick Perlotti, I'm Larry Perlotti saying thank you. Have a good holiday and good night.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. Here's the latest weather forecast.